This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.
What's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Icon Podcast. I am your host today and always. I don't know where my brain was going with that. And here it is. And today our guest is Haley Jones. Welcome to the show, Haley. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell me a little bit about you. Actually, tell me everything about you. Who are you? Where are you from? How did you get into real estate? What's your story?
So I am Haley Jones, obviously, as it says on the screen. So I've been in real estate about 2.5 years. I started in March of 2020. Prior to that, I was an educator, high school math teacher, program manager. I have a background in international development.
Wow.
Worked in Ethiopia, worked in Liberia. Thought that I was going to be a school superintendent and a big school, leader in the nation. And once I got into a more leadership position in my district locally, it was just way too political. And so anyhow, kind of went through a career crisis of like, what do I want to do? I thought about being a real estate agent for a while, but I was afraid of like being perceived as like a used car salesperson.
Yeah, I understand that.
And finally my husband was just like, just do it, Haley, just, try it, do the course, see if you like it. And so I did. I finally did that in January. January 2020, I was still a full-time teacher, and then made the transition in the summer of 2020 to real estate full-time. So,
okay. Awesome.
Yeah. And
how were you introduced to EXP then? So if you made that transition in 2022, that was, this year. So is EXP your
2020 is when I
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, how'd you already Icon?
I transitioned to EXP in March of last year, 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm caught up.
Yeah.
So how were you introduced to EXP, Haley?
So I kind of multiple different ways. The first inkling or hearing I had it, I actually went to a conference. Dan Lesniak, this guy in real estate, he held a conference in DC, and I went live. Like, I'm a huge go to the place and learn kind of person. And at that event, he had a speaker named Krista Mayshore. And Krista, she had already transitioned over to EXP. She had this crazy energy and all this. She was talking about Facebook and digital marketing and all this. And so I was automatically oh my gosh, I have to work with this person. So I hired her as my real estate coach. And then actually, as a result of that, transitioned over to EXP. I had a friend who had gone over to EXP. So I was a little bit curious, but it was primarily because Krista was with EXP, and I liked I liked that if you capped, you got the stock. And then I liked that there were some other, revenue streams, but also it's just a bit more progressive in terms of what they're doing from a brokerage standpoint, which actually locally, I feel like EXP gets a really bad rap here. So a lot of times people are, why did you do that? And I'm like, well, it's great. So anyways, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you talked about all the great things that EXP has to offer, and there's a lot of awesome things, rev share, collaboration, stock options that you just don't have access to with other brokerages. So Haley, that being said, now that you're at EXP and reaping all these benefits, what's your favorite part about EXP? Why do you stay here?
I have a huge network of people within EXP that are just awesome. I am locally kind of a lone person. I don't have a ton of, I have other agents I work with, but like I said, EXP is kind of just not, it's kind of like the black sheep, if you will, or this redheaded stepchild or whatever you want to call it. I think it's just perception. But anyways, what I like about EXP obviously is the stock. I think that's awesome. But I'm just super connected. And then EXP, like people are always talking about lead gen. And EXP has a ton of certifications, and one of those is like the express offers, which is awesome. But one is a relo cert, and just by doing that, I've gotten listings and listing leads. So, I mean, that to me is huge. Like I wasn't getting that previously, but just there's a lot of practical stuff about it. But then also, I find that a lot of agents that are with EXP are more progressive. They're willing to try things. They might be more takers, and so that's kind of more my people, if you will.
Sure, absolutely. I love that. And more progressive. That's a word that you've used several times during this interview, and it makes sense because it is, right? So let's talk a little bit about your personal life, Haley, because real estate, if you let it, it will swallow you whole. Okay, so how do you draw the line between work and play and do this little work-life balance thing? What are your secrets to it? How do you combat
Well, right now I
such
don't.
an industry?
I feel like I don't at all. I'm still, I'm still a new agent. And so like right now I feel like I'm really in build mode. So I've got a ways to go in terms of not letting it consume me. Like this is strictly almost all that I do all the time. And so just working on not letting it consume me. I have started drawing a hard boundary of like Sundays. I'm not doing anything. Even that's kind of hard. It has been. My husband called me out the other week. He was like, "Haley, you said you weren't going to work on Sunday." So anyways,
Sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's just like right now, it's just a season of growth, and that's okay. I actually have just hired on some people out. I'm about to bring in a buyer's agent next week as well. So definitely growth is happening, and I'm, putting some things in place to mitigate it. But right now, I mean, there is no balance really.
Absolutely. That makes sense, Haley. So, and it's hard. It's hard. There's no secret recipe or secret sauce to a work-life balance. It's all just a work in progress. But let's talk about your production, right? So, all things Icon Award now, you've got to hit a certain production, you've got to cap out and then hit 20 transactions after that. So in your market, here in Tennessee, which is cool, only my second fellow Tennessean I've ever had on the podcast. What does your average housing price look like for you out there? And how many does it take you to sell to be able to cap?
So I capped last year with, how many did it take me to cap? I think 8. Yeah, 8.
Okay, awesome.
And I mean, like my average, I mean, I guess by number is like in the 400s personally. Our market average sell price is like 370 right now, roughly. But like it's a loose average. I mean, it's average as for real because I mean, it's an average. So, so last year I hit 8. I had 8 to cap, and then I think I ended up closing 30 total last year. And then so far this year, I capped like within my first month. I think I was like 4 transactions, and then right now I am I closed deal 26 for this year.
Okay.
And then I am, let's see, 6 away from iconing again.
Awesome.
So yeah,
that's awesome.
I'll hit icon by the end of August, if not the first week of September. So
okay, right on. That's like soon.
Yeah. Last year, just for context, so last year to cap, it took me because it was my second full year, right? So so my cap resets in like April 1st. So April to, I think I capped in like December or October, something like that. And then I hit icon by the end of March. So then this year I capped in April, and then I'll icon by September. So
okay, awesome. Yeah. And Haley, more than just production, it's also a lot to do with that cultural commitment. You have to step away from the money and give back to those at EXP that are looking to improve and learn. So whether that's mentoring or teaching or vetting other icon panels, whatever, what path do you choose to do for that aspect and why?
So I chose icon panel for this year because I feel like, especially at the time, now I probably do something like I might go the mentor route. But like with the icon panel, I chose that because I felt like I don't have much to teach at this point because I'm such a newer agent. And so that just seemed like the most natural place for me to kind of add value, but also like, you know, I feel like I'm not in a position to be necessarily, I mean, now I feel like I could probably mentor and actually do a good job at it. But at the time I was like, I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand that, Haley. And you know, it's tough to find what's right for you, but EXP just introduced like a new point system, so you can kind of do anything and everything to be able to fulfill that cultural commitment now, it seems like. And Haley, let's talk about benefits of being an icon agent, right? So you get your cap back in stock, opportunity to go to EXPCon and shareholders and be, you know, paid to do so, and a big glass shiny trophy. So what's your favorite part about being an icon agent? Why do you set that standard for yourself as a goal year after year from now? Holy smokes, my poor tongue.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the easy answer is like, why not? Like, I want to be the best. I want to be as successful as possible. I don't want to feel like I've failed. And I feel like if I don't hit that mark, I feel like I failed. But also, like, I want that cat money back. So I feel like it's an opportunity, and if I don't take it, like, I'm losing out.
You're not the only one that's like, that cap is what I want. Hello,
Yeah.
that's the whole incentive.
That's the whole point. Yeah. So, not that it's the whole point, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I have this opportunity. I capped. So now we need that back. Like,
Right.
so anyways, I guess I just, you know, I want that. And I'm working hard to build, you know, wealth. And that is one avenue for doing so. So I don't want to miss out on that opportunity. So that's kind of the main, I mean, that's the big, I mean, obviously I want to be able to say like, I'm an icon, I'm, you know, top of the top. Like I want to be able to say that, but also from a practical standpoint, it just makes sense. Like, why would I not do it?
Absolutely, Haley. Why wouldn't you? You know, so to people that are just over here at EXP and they just made the switch, whether they're a rookie or they've been in the game for a while, and they see the Icon Award, they're like, well, why wouldn't I shoot for that? It's their first year with EXP. Is it going to be possible for them? What are some goals they maybe need to set out on, or big mistakes to avoid when trying to achieve such a big goal?
I mean, first of all, it's possible because I did it. I think just being organized in the sense of like eye on the prize. And you know, obviously follow up is huge. I mean, I'm sure everyone says that on here. It's like follow up. But I mean, a part of the way that I did it is like I got a coach who showed me how to do digital marketing. So I was all over the place in the internet. So yeah, I mean, obviously follow up. I think everyone is going to say, you know, you need to do follow up. But like I said, I hired a real estate coach. She showed me how to market myself, and I did what she told me to do. And I was focused on that. So that meant that I put out a certain number of ads, that I did a certain number of touches, like whatever you do, just commit to that. And, you're going to be successful. Like, and I think also too, something that I've had to learn is, like take action that you believe is going to be successful. So I'm not like take action, but also take action. Don't be taking action where you're like, this isn't going to work. Don't do that then. Do things that you think are going to work and get engaged in and will feel good about. Because if you're
revenue generating tasks.
Well, yeah, but even sometimes like you know, I think it's better to go into a task that you believe whether or not someone else does is going to be successful. So like if you're doing stuff like, for example, I would do open houses and I'm like, this is such a waste of my time. well, I'm bringing that energy to that thing. So it's like, yeah, of course it's not successful because I don't even believe it's successful. So
Right.
I would say cut out all the crap that you don't believe in and then focus on the stuff that you know you're going to do and have a good attitude about. So
Absolutely. And Haley, you're right. I love what you said there. Make sure that you're putting in that quality of work, and that helps the attitude and the morale that you have as an entrepreneur and attracts more business. And lean into your mentors, lean into your resources when you're looking to icon in that first year. And Haley, were you ever skeptical of EXP when it was introduced to you, kind of like too good to be true?
yeah, I was skeptical, and also, well, because for one, I hadn't heard of it, and for two, like my other brokerage was like, the logo is so ugly, like, ugh, all that stuff. And now it's better, like
That is so funny. We talked about how people think the logo is ugly in my last episode too. So
like
it's
legitimately
really not.
people would
It's
not
so
join.
tiny.
Yeah.
Like, why does that matter?
Yeah, but the previous one was, I'm talking about the old one with the house.
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Like, this is great, our logo now. Previously, not good.
I'm gonna Google it
I
right
think our
now.
logo now is fine. I mean, it's clear, EXP, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, that house is rough.
Yeah, it was bad. And so, like, I had multiple top producers be like, why would you go to some ranky dank whatever?
Yeah.
And the other thing that I think is hard, and I don't know, just speaking very transparently, where I am, is very broker reliant. So my previous broker was like, I could text at any time, like very accessible. And so that was something for me transitioning, especially as a new agent, is like they were not as accessible, even though we have workplace. So that was a little bit of a transition for me, and something that even now is a bit of a struggle, just because, like I said, like I'm a highly competent person, but I also take like this job and what I'm doing very seriously for my people. So I want to make sure that I'm providing the best service. And so for me, that was a bit of a hard transition. And also had people just totally dog EXP. And I still have agents to this day be like, why would you move? Why would you do that? It's not even a reputable place, which they don't know what they're talking about, but that's perception. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, it's really more just me deciding what was going to work for me in my situation. And for my situation, it made sense for me to come over to EXP.
And like, there are brokerages like throwing shade at EXP, and their pyramid scheme, their cult, and other agents, they're looking at EXP, they see the greener grass, but of course they hear the things in the industry that make them nervous to make that switch. So to somebody that may be watching right now and they're on the edge and they are thinking about making that move themselves, Haley, what would you have to say to them to get them to cut the cord and just do it?
I think that it's all about what your long-term goal is. And this is going to sound super harsh. So I just want to preface that. But if your number one priority is like what your split is and what is this and what is that and what's the dollar to dollar, then I don't think EXP is a fit for you. Like I don't think it's a fit for you at all. I think you should go to one of those 100% brokerages and do that. If you want to be at a place where there's growth, and yeah, you're going to pay a split or a cap or whatever, but you have the opportunity to get that back. You have the opportunity for special certifications. You have all these other educational opportunities and an atmosphere in which, based fundamentally, like why EXP was developed is to be better, do things better, be progressive, like adapt as the world adapts, then I think that's a great place. If you are not an adaptive person and you are not a risk taker, then I don't honestly think it's a good place for you. And that's just my thought. I mean, whenever I joined my previous brokerage, I joined because of who was there and the learning opportunities. And similarly here to EXP. So if you're very focused on the right now dollar versus the long-term dollar, then that's cool, but I think you're going to miss the point and miss opportunities that EXP provides.
And think about all the money you're leaving on the table too, that you have the opportunity to potentially earn back here. So that's, it's a lot to weigh out, pros and cons, numbers, but once you see the model, it just makes sense. And are you going to be at EXPCon, Haley?
I will be there.
Okay, awesome. Well, I plan to see you in Vegas. We're coming up on just a little over 20 minutes. Is there anything that you'd like to leave the listeners with today as we wrap it up? Because I'm out of questions.
I mean, I just think listen to your heart. Like follow whatever, you know what I mean? Follow what your truth is and own it and do it. Like you can't go wrong if you're in alignment with what you want. So
absolutely. And if you guys have any questions about EXP, make sure to hit up Haley, ask her, do your research, meet for coffee or a virtual happy hour. I don't care. But take advantage of that metaverse and get connected, ask your questions straight to the source, and see if she's the right person to sponsor you and to come into EXP or whatever may work best for you guys. Talk it out. And the best place to start is just straight at the source. So Haley, thank you so much for your time today. Super excited to see you in Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Haley. Thanks for your time. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
This Icon podcast is hosted and sponsored by Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants, a leading provider for your virtual assistants and outsourcing needs. Owned by one of the top-ranking EXP agents, Justin Nelson. Sphere Rocket VA provides a one-stop virtual staffing solution for business owners, and we specialize in helping business owners grow their business by leveraging through virtual assistants. Trusted by the top names in the real estate industry like Kyle Whistle, Andrew Franklin, John Kitchens, and many more. Get ready to up your success and we'll help you achieve your business goals. Book your free consultation at sphererocketva.com and find out how we can make your life easier.